Hey, what's up, everyone? This is FreeUP YouTube channel. Your boy Two Phones here with another informative video. As you can see on the title, I'm canceling Google Fi, or at least I did cancel Google Fi. Yeah, this is what it's about. Why I canceled Google Fi while leaving Google Fi. There's a lot of reasons. It's actually a lot of bad reasons more than good reasons. And all you know that I'm into these different carriers and trying and testing them and doing stuff like that. And for the most part, yes, I've had kept signal with Google Fi, and the speeds are great. The speeds are good. The data speeds were awesome. Call quality, it was, it wasn't the best. The call quality wasn't the best for this service. It's kind of odd. Everything worked though. Like, everything did work with this service. Calls, texts. I did have times where I lose signal, and it's probably because I was on T-Mobile. And the thing about it is that Google, it tries to pick the best network, but to be truthfully honest, it doesn't pick the best network. Not sure why, but it doesn't. Well, here in the house, it doesn't, because I've noticed something. I've done plenty of networking testing on all my phones, including the Samsung Galaxy S9, even on Sprint. And for what I've gotten is that Sprint signal is actually weak. It's actually weak at my house, but it's not number one. The weakest is actually T-Mobile, which is very, very odd. The weakest is actually T-Mobile. The way you figure this all out is you go through the about phone section in your smartphone. Then you go into the SIM status. And then when you read the negative number, the DBM number, if it's under 100, your signal is decent. All right. That means you got fair signal. Now, if you get under 80 and 70 and 60, you got great signal. Okay. So keep that in mind when all this, I got full bars, don't mean nothing, because you can have full bars and your speeds are horrible. So keep this in mind when you're, using these phone services and you think you got the best plan ever, which technically most people don't. It might be a conspiracy with the networks. It might be, but for the simple fact that I don't get the best network with Google Fi, I don't. So that's one reason why I'm canceling. Another one is, of course, it's overpriced. It's super overpriced. There are phone companies out here right now that give you full coverage. They give you, full access for unlimited calls and texts, or just for, calls and texts, and won't charge you a dime. And you can get voicemail. You can get, your Android messages, your iMessage. You can get the stock dollars and everything, and won't charge you a dime. Whereas Google is charging you $20 a month for unlimited talking and text. And I get it. You got all the networks, but keep that in mind. Make sure you're on the best network. There's ways around it too. There's ways you can switch over, swap over, but then Google will switch you back. So you got to keep that in mind too. You can't, even if you force it and do all that hacking stuff with the network, Google will force you back over to a network that's really not as reliable as the one you thought was. So keep that in mind. And the data plans is just ridiculous. Like, you pay $10 per gigabyte, and then, of course, yes, they do stop you at $60, but that's for the data. So now you got to add on the 20. Now you got to add on the 20 gigs. The $20 for talking text, which is $80. And they say it on Twitter, no taxes and fees. But if you read your Google Fi bill, you would get taxed for 911, even if you don't use 911. Even if you never made a 911 call, they still tax you for that. your state taxes, and I think you get taxed for your city. So you get like 3 or 4 taxes. I mean, yeah, it's not that much, but it adds up. I mean, especially if you're a person, you're expecting, oh, I want to pay this certain amount. You think you're gonna pay that certain amount, but you're not. And once again, there are other carriers, other services out here that won't charge you for none of that, or it's quote unquote included in the package. I'll put it like that. You know, it's included in the package, but you won't get no extra taxes and fees. So, to my viewers out here, if you're thinking about trying out Google Fi, even if you're just doing it for a talking text, pay attention to the taxes and fees, because they do charge you for taxes and fees, and it's based on your state and your city. So keep that in mind. I seen some reports that people haven't been paying. I get it, but they're gonna charge you in my city and state. I stay in Illinois. They would charge you in Illinois. So hey, just keep that in mind. And like I said, the networks are actually weaker here in my house, but everywhere else they're fine. Okay, they're fine everywhere else. Once I walk out the door, start driving around, the signal does get better. I get that, but here in the house, these networks aren't that great, and Google forces me on the weaker network, which I don't like. I mean, I like T-Mobile because they have the best uploads. I give them credit for that. T-Mobile has the best uploads, but Sprint has the best downloads. So it's just like, I guess you're trying to get best of both worlds here. But for some reason, Verizon is the weakest, but they don't have Verizon. So you got to keep that in mind. If you try to switch to get Verizon, they don't. Now, I've noticed that services I have with AT&T, which are free, yeah, I get better call quality and actually better signal when I'm using AT&T service. So that being said, if you're in my area, you might want to check out some AT&T prepaid plans or some AT&T services. Like I said, FreeUP Mobile and Freedom Pop, and then you can just use a unlimited talk and text application, which also Google Voice is free. Google Voice is the talk and text. And for Google Fi users, if you have a Google Fi voice, if you have a Google Voice phone number, you can make that the Google Fi number. But when you cancel, it goes back, that Google Voice number goes back to Google Voice. Like, they don't like tell you it doesn't disappear. So keep that in mind. If you don't want a new number and you want to use a Google Voice, you can use it on Google Fi. And if you cancel, Google will send it back to your Google Voice account. So that's what's going to happen. Basically, I'm going to go back to having my Google Voice, and that's what I had. I used my Google Voice number on Google Fi. So basically, my Google Voice will be back to normal with the whole cancellation. Now, how long does it take to cancel? I think my boy Santana said about a couple of days or something like that, and then it'll reroute itself to a normal, Google Voice phone number. So with that being said, it all depends on whether or not T-Mobile, Sprint, or your cellular is actually strong in the areas that you're going to. Now, I will say this. If you're doing traveling, this might be a package for you, because all you need is about maybe approximately $25 for travel. I mean, for a few days. I mean, I guess I think that's still a little high, but I don't know, give or take. There are other alternatives out there that are actually cheaper than Google Fi. Like I said, FreeUP, Freedom Pop, Unreal Mobile. You got Mint Mobile that has T-Mobile, which is actually pretty good, but I'm still getting that. I'm still getting that network that's weak. So, yeah, it just comes to find out that AT&T is actually stronger in my household. It's actually stronger in the house, which is, it's very odd, but I guess AT&T upgraded. I guess they upgraded here in my area. So that's what's got to happen with T-Mobile and Sprint. If I decide, if I want to come back to Google Fi, for in-house, I mean, like I said, everywhere else is great, but in the house, if I didn't want Wi-Fi ever, then the networks and signals gotta get better. They gotta get better. So once again, it's not all about bars. It's more about your strength. It's more about the signal strength itself. Like the bars can tell you anything. You could, like I said, you could have full bars and your data speeds, your uploads are horrible. So keep that in mind. And it may depend on what type of smartphone capabilities are on a device as well for the network. So if you don't have a full-fledged smartphone that's up to date with all the bands, then that might be also a downside. So you got to keep this all in mind, keep this all in consideration when you're switching providers, switching networks, switching services. But like I say, I'm testing them all. I would test out Verizon, but maybe I should. Maybe I should try Verizon prepaid and see how well that goes for my unlocked devices. But we'll see about that. But right now, AT&T is number one right now in my house. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on what you think about Google Fi and everything like that. Like I said, it's a great concept, but it just needs some more work when it comes to picking the right networks, picking the better signal. For some reason, they're saying T-Mobile is better, and I've done tests, and T-Mobile is actually not number one here. So I don't know what it is, but it is. I mean, like I said, I get great speeds, awesome speeds, but the network, the signal is a little more weakened than Sprint and much more weaker than AT&T. Almost double the weakness strength. So yeah, man. Yeah, I was puzzled too. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What's your opinions about Google Fi? What's your experience with it? Have you tried it? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. It's your boy Two Phones. I'm out.